For more than 125 years, Rexnord has been creating value for our customers, shareholders, and associates every day.
Higher interest rates, slower growth, and softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation. They will also bring some pain to households and businesses.
Rexnord is a global industrial leader with a diverse team of experienced and passionate associates dedicated to building upon our legacy of success.
They will also bring some pain to
Corporate raiding is actually legal. So what happens in a corporate raid? Well, the raider becomes a dissident shareholder, buying enough of a stake in the company to vote herself or her representatives' seats on the board of directors. Remember, common shareholders elect the board hires the CEO and fires the CEO, and, helps to set a lot of policy.
Part of the global marketplace. They are part of One Carlyle.
We began in 1987 with just $5 million and a belief that we could generate premium returns for our investors. Today, we operate from a position of financial strength with more than $90 billion in assets under management.
They will also bring some pain to
Powell's experience in the workforce is a privileged one. Princeton led to Georgetown Law, which led to a Wall Street career that made him a multimillionaire.
I have personally been reluctant to factor things in until they look like they're pretty probable and going to happen. It's very hard to speculate on what might happen.
To be a viable company that contributes to economic growth, we must meet customer needs with high-quality products at competitive prices.
We're eagerly watching. I'm eagerly watching to see what happens.
From manufacturing to automotive, healthcare to mining, energy to aerospace, food and beverage to forest products, the Innovation Center serves them all on a global scale.
Back in New York, I got a computer. Her name is Carmen. Every morning, right after I brush my teeth, I punch out, Carmen, computer on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Now, most mornings, she spits out, Garfield, you're the fairest. But 3 weeks ago, she said, Garfield, Garfield, scratch your balls. New England, pardon me, is the fairest of them all. I said, what's it worth? So she showed me the numbers. You got equipment here that cost $120 million. Even at salvage, it's worth 35 million.
Rexnord manufactures products that you might not see, but impact you every day. We serve a variety of growing markets with the broadest, most reliable product portfolios and trusted brands in our industries. Our products make customers worldwide more efficient, profitable, and sustainable.
What's raiding? Well, a company might have a fully funded pension fund, responsible financials, which now the company will be, quote, punished for, unquote. Well, that pension can serve as collateral for the company to borrow against to do stuff. Like buy back its own stock, maybe. Yeah, or buy a competitor. Or pay a big fat dividend, whether it really needs to or not. Well, in this case, the company is raiding their pension fund to pay for all this junk. Like, when you bust into your savings to buy Beyonce tickets. Well,
We take deep industry expertise and deploy it globally across 4 product lines. It's a powerful means to create value for you, our investors, our portfolio companies, and the global economy.
Step 1. Partners in private equity firms don't risk their own money. They get other people to give them money to invest. Step 2. They use this money to buy up companies they think they can squeeze higher profits from.
You invested in a business, and this business is dead. Let's have the intelligence, let's have the decency to sign the death certificate, collect the insurance, and invest in something with a future. Ah, but we can't, goes the prayer. We can't because we have a responsibility to our employees, to our community. What will happen to them? I got 2 words for that. Who cares? Care about them? Why? They didn't care about you. They sucked you dry. You have no responsibility to them. For the last 10 years, this company bled your money.
We have in-house expertise in stress analysis, strain gauging, mechanics, vibration testing and analysis, polymers, metallurgy, tribology, computational fluid dynamics, finite element analysis, 3D solid modeling, 3D printing, and part prototyping.
You got equipment here that cost $120 million. Even at salvage, it's worth $35 million.
The Innovation Center's Fatigue Lab has 18 servo hydraulic load frames used for performing qualification tests on mechanical components for aerospace clients.
Let's put down $30 million. How many acres you got? 110. Carmen and I figure even as farmland, grazing land, it's worth $10 million.
New board either with this regretful help of the old CEO or with the help of a newly recruited CEO sells off parts of itself. Short-term profits and the stock pops and then the company dies. Yeah, that's the fear anyway. Well, many conglomerates have dozens of divisions, like think GE, each of which do business with, one another over time. But at any given moment in time, one division might be in favor and it would sell for a high multiple at auction among competitors. So maybe the raider puts that division on eBay and gets a bunch of cash for it.
All right, and you bought some other companies, didn't you, Bill? You have a plumbing, an electrical, and some kind of adhesive company. Boring, but all making a decent profit. Carmen says they're worth another 60 mil. Let's put the 60 under the 40.
Our on-site prototype shop creates custom mechanical fixtures and tooling for most of our tests. Boring, turning, milling, welding, and fabricating.
We really are committed to using our tools. It is appropriate, in my view, to be moving a little more quickly. That's our goal. And I don't think you'll hear anyone at the Fed say that that's going to be straightforward or easy. It's going to be very challenging. We're going to do our very best to accomplish that. And they will also bring some pain to.
We're driven by our core values, starting with the customer and continuously improving to create a winning culture. Rexnord is also committed to engaging and enabling our associates to ensure high performance and achieve business success.
I want to share with you some of my thoughts concerning the vote that you're going to make in the company that you own. This proud company, which has survived the death of its founder, numerous recessions, one major depression, and 2 world wars, is in imminent danger of self-destructing on this day in the town of its birth. There is the instrument of our destruction. I want you to look at him in all of his glory. Larry the Liquidator, the entrepreneur of post-industrial America, playing God with other people's money. The robber barons of old at least left something tangible in their wake. A coal mine, a railroad, banks. This man leaves nothing. He creates nothing. He builds nothing. He runs nothing. And in his wake lies nothing but a blizzard of paper to cover the pain. Oh, if he said, I know how to run your business better than you, That would be something worth talking about, but he's not saying that. He's saying, I'm going to kill you because at this particular moment in time, you're worth more dead than alive.
Hi, this is Brad with Regal Rexnord. I'm here at Modex 2022. A lot has changed in the last 2 years.
A couple of the companies that are going public this week are leveraged buyouts. One of them is especially large, Rexnord at $450 million. It's an industrial company, and Francis, industrial companies seem to have done fairly well in the secondary market. So do we think that Rexnord's also going to have that benefit of being an industrial company?
Yes, I think it's going to do okay, not great. They're strong in the motion processing business for industrial plants. And
Step 3, they squeeze out higher profits by cutting the company's costs. And for most companies, the biggest cost is payrolls. So private equity managers typically reduce payrolls by firing workers or cutting other workers' wages and their health and pension benefits.
So we're eagerly watching. I'm eagerly watching to see what happens.
A leveraged buyout is the acquisition process of a company by another company using a large amount of borrowed capital. The assets of the acquired company are used as a collateral for the capital that is borrowed. This means that if it goes into financial trouble, it can sell its assets to pay back the debt.
The key to success, you say, is being able to buy companies without using your own money.
Right.
How did you do that?
Archegos was able to invest only about 15% of its own money in all these stocks that it was buying, and that was made possible by the banks through something called total return swaps.
Those derivatives are already regulated in effect.
For the last 10 years, this company bled your money. Did this community ever say, we know times are tough, we'll lower taxes, reduce water and sewer? Check it out. You're paying twice what you did 10 years ago. And our devoted employees, who have taken no increases for the past 3 years, are still making twice what they made 10 years ago. And our stock, 1/6 what it was 10 years ago. Who cares? I'll tell you. Me. I'm not your best friend. I'm your only friend. I don't make anything. I'm making you money. And lest we forget, that's the only reason any of you became stockholders in the first place. You want to make money.
One of the most consistent, high-paying junior jobs in the entire world is that of the private equity associate. In private equity, you buy companies and try to sell them at potential profit. And if you're at one of the largest funds in the world, that means you're dealing with huge sums of money.
They will also bring some pain to.
They also use the company as collateral to borrow a pile of money from banks. And since interest payments on this debt are deductible from company income, presto, the company shows even bigger profits.
God save us if we vote to take his paltry few dollars and run. God save this country if that is truly the wave of the future. We will then have become a nation that makes nothing but hamburgers, creates nothing but lawyers, and sells nothing but tax shelters.
Through our Rexnord Foundation and the generosity of our associates, we are able to give back and make a positive impact in our communities.
They will also bring some pain to households and businesses.
But why do you need to wreck this company?
Because it's wreckable, all right? I took another look at it and I changed my mind.
If these people lose their jobs, they got nowhere to go. My father has worked there for 24 years. I gave him my word.
It's all about bucks, kid. The rest is conversation. Hey, buddy, you're still gonna be president, all right? And when the time comes, you're gonna parachute out a rich man. With the money you're gonna make, your dad's never gonna have to work another day in his life.
It's 2 minutes to close, Gordon. What do you want to do? Decide.
Dump it.
You know, that was something we talked about.
RTV6 traveled to Monterrey, Mexico several months ago to see why Carrier was moving jobs there. Rexnord, like Carrier, has a facility in Monterrey where they can pay production workers much, much less.
Monterrey and its suburbs, with a population of about 5 million people, are out to attract other American companies.
So I'm sad. Because I work 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day. I spend more time at that plant with these guys and girls than I do with my family. So it's going to be tough too when we all part ways and the doors actually do shut to that plant because.
Today, Rexnord Bearings announcing to its employees that some jobs are going to be moved out of the country beginning in 2017.
In the industrial capital of Mexico, on the corner of a street filled with factories, 22-year-old Estolio Bonillo is waiting for his ride and something else.
Me comentaron que había vacantes.
He's waiting for a job. The recent college grad hopes to work for one U.S. company in particular. The ball bearing manufacturer Rexnord is moving 300 jobs from Indianapolis to Monterrey.
The job I've had with Rexnord helped get us through the hard times. Now the job's gone. So my question is to you, man is 61 years old. Where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go to get the same benefits that I've got now? Well, I did have, since you cut the rug out from the bottom of me.
Regal Corporation has merged together with Rexnord Power and Motion Control to form Regal Rexnord. That allows us now to provide powertrain solutions, electromechanical in nature, that are tailored to your application.
Learning more details about the Rexnord situation and now finding out that as part of the severance, Rexnord workers will have to train their replacements possibly as soon as mid-January. Here's the deal between the company and the union as part of severance. When the layoffs begin, when the plant closes, those workers will get $2,000 as part of their severance. They will also get 1 week for every year of service, of pay that is, of course, and then 6 months of health care. Now, the company has already talked to the state, so a warn notice is now out, which means that layoffs will begin, and the state is aware that layoffs will begin in mid-February and go through April with the plant closing in June. But many of the workers right now are counting on President-elect Trump, who sent a tweet out back on December the 2nd acknowledging the Rexnord situation. Many of the workers are now hoping that Mr. Trump will intervene as he did in the Carrier situation.
Well, the Raider Pirates have sold their shares and have gone on to go attack some other company, having, just kind of moved on. They watched it rise and then they sold, and that's it. They don't have to stick around to run the company, sell their shares, they've never heard from again, take their profits and do damage elsewhere.
And so he waits. He waits for Rexnord. Leila Santiago, CNN, Monterrey, Mexico.
And then later, when some of these companies go bust under the weight of all that debt and their pension obligations have to be taken over by the federal government, who pays? We do. You see, the magic of private equity is really a magic trick, and it's played on you and me.
We call this One Carlyle, and it's the foundation of our success.
In the end, it all comes down to creating value.
And that comes down to the people who work here.
We hire the best and brightest, and we work for smart investors.
if I understand what you've said and what economists are saying across the board, is that when you raise interest rates, there's going to be less money to invest. And that is, it's going to dampen business investment. Is that a fair statement?
I think the idea is to
Makes it more
moderate
expensive
demand
to invest.
so that it can be in better balance with
Okay.
supply. And
So
the current
it's gonna make it
situation,
more-
demand is well in excess of supply in some areas of our
More expensive to invest, which in turn is going to throw workers out of work. And when they're out of work, they have less money to spend.
Restoring price stability will take some time and requires using our tools forcefully to bring demand and supply into better balance. Reducing inflation is likely to require a sustained period of below-trend growth. Moreover, there will very likely be some softening of labor market conditions.
The reason I raise this and the reason I'm so concerned about this is rate increases make it more likely that companies will fire people and slash hours to shrink wage costs. Rate increases also make it more expensive for families to do things like borrow money for a house. And so far, the cost this year of a mortgage has already doubled.
While higher interest rates, slower growth, and softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation, they will also bring some pain to households and businesses. These are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation.
It was a tough day to be a Rexnord worker.
The best way to put it would be, I felt like I was undercut. Like my fellow worker, Tim said, you cannot compete with these third world wages. You pay a guy $1.88 an hour and you pay a guy $25 an hour. It's pretty simple what these corporate people want. They want to pay people nothing and they want to profit everything.
The company sent RTV6 a statement. It reads in part, "We have invited the union to join us in an open and frank discussion over this potential relocation and the impact it would have on Rexnord associates and their families."
So it makes sense for them. What they're doing is they're selling the PMC business, they call it the process motion control business, the bigger one. And you as a shareholder of Rexnord are going to get shares in Regal Beloit, the buyer of that business. So to get into the math just a little bit, simply,
I like sexy high growth names like Coinbase. I bought a little bit yesterday, but I also like to own a few of the kinds of names that Warren Buffett would buy.
We must keep at it until the job is done.
Now we wrap that all together with our perceptive condition monitoring, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence so that you can maximize the health of your equipment. So please come visit us. We're in Hall B, booth 9002.
They will also bring some pain